I'll be discussing few problems under law of conservation of momentum. Now, under law of conservation of momentum, I had explained the theory portion, but I had not revised the problems. So let's look into few of the problems. A bullet of mass 20 gram is horizontally fired with a velocity of 150 meter per second from a pistol of mass 20 kg. What is the recoil velocity of the pistol? When I say recoil velocity, it is nothing but they are asking us the V2 or the final velocity of the pistol. Now, what is given? Let's try to understand what is given. Now, before the bullet is being fired from the pistol, we know its initial velocity, that is U, is going to be 0 for both bullet as well as a pistol. Now, they have given us the mass of the bullet as 20 gram. But we have to convert it into kg. So, when we convert it into kg, we get 0.02 kg. We very well know the mass of the pistol as it is given in the problem. It is 2 kg. And V1 is given as 150. The initial velocity of the bullet is 0 and the final velocity is 150. Whereas the initial velocity of the pistol is 0 and final velocity is what we have to find out. Now, as I know the formula, I have substituted the formula. So, substitute the values. So, M1 is given as 0.02. I have converted it into U1, that is 0. So, anything multiplied by 0 is going to be 0 itself, plus 2 into 0. M1 V1 plus M2 V2. Substitute the values. You will get 3 plus 2 V2. And here, initial momentum is 0. And when I simplify further, I will get the answer as minus 1.5 meter per second. So this is the one of the example for law of conservation of momentum. Now let's look at the second problem. A girl of mass 40 kg jumps with a horizontal velocity of 5 meter per second onto a stationary cart with frictionless wheels. Now the mass of the cart is 3 kg. What is her velocity as a cart starts moving? Assume that there is no external unbalanced force working in the horizontal direction. Now this problem is from your textbook itself. So let's try to understand what is given. The mass of the girl is given, that is M1 is nothing but 40. If we assume the mass of the girl as M1, it is 40 kg. And what will be the initial velocity here? It is given 5 meter per second. Now, next, cart. What is the mass of the cart? That is 3. And what is a U2? What is U2 or the initial velocity of the cart? It is going to be 0 because you are telling stationary cart. So, when it's stationary, the initial velocity is going to be 0. Once the girl jumps onto the cart, the final velocity or the V1 and V2 for both the girl as well as the cart, it's going to be same. Because the girl has jumped onto the cart and it's both are combined. They have the combined velocity or the same velocity. Assume that there is no unbalanced force working in the horizontal direction. So we need to assume that there is no external unbalanced force. Let's see how to calculate. So M1, U1 is given, M2 is given, U2 is also given. We are supposed to find out, that is the velocity. What is her velocity as a car starts moving, or the combined velocity. Now, next. Let's substitute. We know what is M1, we know what is U1, M2 and U2. So we'll get the answer as 200. Now, M1 V1 plus M2 V2. Now I told you once a girl jumps onto the cart, the velocity is going to be same. So instead of writing V1 and V2, I can just write it as V. So M1 plus M2 into V. I put M1 and M2, M1 plus M2 in the bracket into V, and I get it as 43V. Then finally I can figure out the value of the V, that is 4.65 meter per second. Two hockey players of opposite teams, while trying to hit a hockey ball on the ground, collide and immediately become entangled. Students, entangled means combined or intertwined. One has a mass of 60 kg and was moving with a velocity of 5 meter per second, while the other has a mass of 55 kg and was moving faster with a velocity of 6 meter per second towards the first player. In which direction and with what velocity will they move after they become entangled? Assume that the frictional force acting between the feet of the two players on the ground is negligible. Students, the same problem is there in your textbook. You can refer that. I'll be explaining this problem. M1 is given. Okay, we are assuming one of the hockey player, the mass of the hockey player of M1 is 60 kg. U1 is 5. M2 is 55 kg. This is a mass of the second hockey player. U2 is minus 6. There is a diagram or an image that is given in your textbook regarding this. Okay, in that if you observe carefully, the direction is opposite. So that's why U2 I'm writing it as 6. Now they are asking, the question is, see, once the hockey players, okay, they are entangled, their final velocity or the V is going to be the same. So they are asking us to calculate what is V. They are not asking us to calculate V1 or V2. They are asking us to calculate V. So they are asking us the question, if you read the question carefully, in which direction and with what velocity will they move after they become entangled? So entangled means combine or intertwine. So we are supposed to calculate V. So again use the same formula. Let's the law of conservation of momentum, we know what is the formula. So use that formula and substitute the values. Initial momentum you will get minus 30 kg meter per second after substituting. Now we have to calculate V. M1 plus M2. Okay, we put it inside the bracket, and V we take it out as common because we want to find out V, not V1 and V2. So we get 115 V. So when we simplify it further, we get 0.26 meter per second. So hopefully this particular problem is clear to you, and the problems that is given in your textbook is similar to whatever I have explained in this 3 problems. So it is similar. So it will be easier for you to work out the other problems if you have understood these 3 problems whatever I have explained. Next, moving on to there were few doubts in the exercise questions, especially this particular question regarding Akhtar, Kiran and Rahul. Okay, that is 17th one. Akhtar, Kiran and Rahul were riding in a motor car that was moving with a high velocity on an expressway when an insect hit the windshield and got stuck on the windscreen. Now, as I make the statements one by one, I will also explain to you why these statements cannot be right or why it can be correct. The first statement is Akhtar and Kiran started pondering over the situation, and Kiran suggested that the insect suffered a greater change in momentum as compared to the change in the momentum of the motor car. Okay, why this statement cannot be correct? First of all, we know the rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the force that is applied. So they are telling us if the greater change in momentum means the force that is applied is also greater, right? But according to Newton's third law of motion, we know that the force exerted by one object on the other is equal in magnitude but opposite in direction. So that's why the first statement is wrong. Here they are telling the force, the magnitude of one of the object is comparatively more than the other, which is not possible if we consider the Newton's third law. Akhtar said that since motor car was moving with larger velocity, it exerted a larger force on the insect. Again, according to the Newton's third law of motion, it cannot be right. The force, the magnitude of the force is same but opposite in direction. Here they're telling it exerted larger force. So Akhtar is telling it exerted a larger force, which cannot be right. Third, Rahul, while putting an entirely new explanation, said both the motor car and the insect experience the same force and a change in their momentum. So Rahul's explanation is correct, as he said that both the motor car and the insect experience the same force and change in their momentum. So this holds true when we consider Newton's third law of motion. So whatever Rahul said was correct. Hopefully you have understood why the Akhtar and Kiran statement is wrong. If we consider the Newton's third law of motion, we see that these two statements are wrong. 12th one. According to the third law of motion, when we push on an object, the object pushes back on us with the equal and opposite force. This is the Newton's third law of motion. If the object is massive truck parked along the roadside, it will probably not move. A student justifies this by answering that the two opposite and equal forces cancel each other. Comment on this logic and explain why the truck does not move. Students, you will write this particular answer or you will remember this particular answer. The logic that was put forth was by the student is wrong. Why? Because the action and reaction forces do not act on the same body but act on different bodies. Here they have given the object to be just the massive truck. They have given the statement, Newton's third law of motion is given, and they are talking about only one object, that is massive truck. So that's why this statement is wrong.